Liberate IT is an Oracle NetSuite solution provider that has been servicing Australian and New Zealand companies since 2011.
Okay. So with me today is Paul Beattie, who is the General Manager for ANZ here at Liberate IT. My name is Steve Paea. I'm the Country Manager at Liberate IT here in Australia. Look, Paul and I have been with the company since day one. So, yeah, we've been doing this for over 12 years now. We had our 12-year birthday not so long ago. So Paul and I have been quite excited to see where the company has started and where we are today. So the agenda is I'm going to give you a bit of overview about Liberate IT, about our company. Also, I'm just going to give you some updates and background about NetSuite as a software solution, and then I'll hand the mic over to Paul to take you through a demonstration today. And please feel free to fire those Q&A questions throughout the presentation today. Paul will pause from time to time, so I'll follow up with those questions with Paul, or I can respond directly on the chat. So a bit about Liberate IT. So we've been around since 2011. So 12 years been doing NetSuite. That's all we do. We've been doing NetSuite for that many years, and from then we've built from 0 customers back in 2011 to about 140 plus customers across Australia and New Zealand. We're dedicated to NetSuite. That's all we do. We sell, we implement, we support, we do all development of work when it comes to NetSuite. So, you know, with all our clients that we support who have gone through implementations of NetSuite, it's not only just implementing, but it's also supporting our customers as well, and also being part of their journey with, you know, companies as they grow, as they scale, as they expand. So we'll be quite lucky to have a lot of happy customers, and we were awarded that in 2021. We were awarded the Partner of the Year across the JPAC region and excellence in customer service. So we're quite stoked to be awarded that, and really that's reflective of Liberate IT and our customers that we've supported to date. We're a 5-star award partner, and so essentially that's the highest rating when it comes to the NetSuite partners that have supported NetSuite customers here across Australia and New Zealand. So I just wanted to share with you where NetSuite fits in the ERP market or the enterprise resource planning market. Really, NetSuite is quite suitable for clients that have kind of outgrown the likes of your Xeros or your MyObs, your Reckon, your QuickBooks. Also clients that are using mid-market system or some old legacy systems like Greentree or Pronto or MyObXO and things like that. And then clients that are a big user such as Oracle SAP, and they're looking at moving to a smaller system because they find that either businesses has changed or they're looking at a cloud-based mid-market solution like NetSuite. So really just wanted to show you the scalability of NetSuite from, we've got clients here that we've implemented NetSuite that are only a 5-user size organization to our largest customer that's 5,000 licensed users. So really just gives some comfort to clients knowing that they invest in NetSuite. NetSuite does grow with those organizations. So NetSuite is one unified system. So if you look at the wholesale distribution markets and, you know, the ability of what NetSuite could do, it services all the different facets within the organizations, from your general managers, your CEOs, from your sales team, from customer services, from your operations team, your supply chain, and your finance team. So it is one unified system and what we call one source of the truth. So the ability for NetSuite to manage all those areas within the business is what makes it quite comprehensive. So NetSuite itself, it's been around since 1998. So if you think about cloud and how cloud has just come about maybe the last 10 years, it's been around since 1998. So it's been built from the ground up. I mean, there are a lot of solutions out there in the market today that offer their cloud version, but with NetSuite and its innovation and leading edge compared to some of the other players in the market, it's been doing it since day one. It got acquired by Oracle in 2016. So what that means is business as usual in terms of NetSuite as a product, but having a powerhouse or an engine like Oracle support us from an infrastructure and data centers is really where you see the benefits of that acquisition. Globally, there are about 32,000 organizations that use NetSuite. There are about 1,500 to 2,000 that use NetSuite in Australia and about 500-600 in New Zealand. And the data centers are in Melbourne and Sydney. And NetSuite is ranked the #1 cloud ERP, specifically in the small, medium-size space. So although this demonstration is quite specific to the wholesale distribution market, and saying that we have a lot of customers in different industries, where the majority of our customers are in the manufacturing and wholesale distribution. But in saying that, we've got clients in services, media publishing, software, food and beverage, transport logistics, financial services, not-for-profit, and retail. The beauty about NetSuite is that it's modular based. So we work with clients and understand their business in the sales process, really understanding what they want from day one, what are some of the pain points they have with their current system, but also understanding what the future looks like as well in terms of growth and where the company wants to be in the future. But if you look at the modules and what NetSuite offers out of the box, it's got professional services, so that's real based around projects and time and billing. It's got finance and accounting. It does your CRM, inventory, revenue recognition, sales order management, purchase order management, case management, fixed assets, manufacturing, wholesale and distribution, and global account consolidation. So that last bit is really around multi-companies that you operate both within country, whether you're in New Zealand or Australia, but then also globally as well. So we've got a lot of clients that have multi-companies set up both within country and also globally. And also just a point to note as well, NetSuite's got a Suite app network as well. So not only if NetSuite has this out-of-the-box functionality, it also extends out to third-party organizations that have built their applications within platform or have some strong integrations to NetSuite. So when it comes to clients that are looking at NetSuite and looking at Liberate IT to be their implementation and support partner, a lot of our customers we recommend when they come on this journey is, we recommend a shared implementation or shared approach where it's more of a collaboration between the two organizations, between Liberate and our customers. Really, we want you to really own the system and also become comfortable in using the solution. We also encourage our clients to have an internal, what we call a NetSuite champion within organizations, because we want that person to really own the system, but take it to that next level. And having an internal NetSuite champion be there is fantastic, but also in saying that Liberate IT will always be there to support and assist our customers. You'll be also working with a lot of our consulting team that are both industry experts. So we've got industry experts in warehouse management, CRM, order management, barcode scanning as such, and also financial as well, and inventory. A lot of our consultants are qualified accountants as well, which is handy because at the end of the day, NetSuite all feeds into the general ledger or the finance system. This is just a high level in terms of our process. So NetSuite also out of the box comes pre-configured. So if you look at all the users that will be needing NetSuite, a lot of the users will already be pre-configured. It's a matter of just understanding what are those specific requirements that you want from a user within your organization. So if you look at our process here, if you do sign up to NetSuite, Liberate IT, we kick off with the workshops, which essentially a deep diving into your business requirements, process mapping, and project plan. We do a lot of one-on-one training with your NetSuite champion, configuration and initial process. We talk about master data and data migration, customizations or integrations. An example of that is some of our clients have existing websites that they want to integrate to NetSuite as an example. And it's just a matter of refining those processes, full process testing. We do user acceptance testing and training, and then go live preparation and go live. And then once go live happens in month end reporting, then we hand you over to a hypercare team, which is our support team. So working with Liberate IT, we are the end-to-end organization when it comes from implementation, support, and development work. Typically, our projects could be around a 3 to 4 month project to up to 6 to 9 month project. So really depends on what our customers require out of NetSuite and in terms of the timeframes to get that up and going. These are some of our customers that we have across Australia and New Zealand. As mentioned, we've got different customers in different industries. The majority of our customers in the wholesale distribution space, from a 5-user license client, as mentioned earlier, to our largest customer that's 5,000. So it's really important to note the scalability of NetSuite. So once you invest in NetSuite, really that is the last system that you'll ever invest in. All right, that's it for me. Look, I'm going to hand the mic over to Paul. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Please, if you have any questions, folks, please fire them through the Q&A, and we'll get started. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you very much, Steve. Steve, can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Cool. And can you just let me know that you can see my screen, which should be a NetSuite screen with a blue band across the top?
That's it. Yep, can see it.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. We've got people from both Australia and New Zealand with us today. As Steve said, my name's Paul Beattie. I'm the General Manager of Liberate IT, but I have been a solutions consultant as part when I first started 12 years ago, and before that with other systems. So I've been doing what I do for about 25 years now. So as with most people in Liberate, years and years of experience. What we're going to look at today is an overview of the dashboards and visualization of NetSuite and how you navigate through NetSuite. Going to look at a few records, a few transactions, and then we're actually going to put through a very simple transaction going from an opportunity to a quote to a sales order. In that sales order, there's going to be items that aren't in stock that we're going to need to replenish before we can fulfill them. So first off, what you're looking at here is the dashboard for a financial controller. First thing I want to say is that these dashboards are completely interactive. They're not screen scrapes. This is how you are meant to interact with NetSuite. When it was designed in 1998, and I'm old enough to have been worried about the year 2K bug then, NetSuite, the person that founded it, was designing this cloud-based multi-tenancy solution with dashboards front and center. Now, the menu, the dashboard I'm looking at here is a financial controller, but as Steve alluded to, depending on your user type, you have many different roles. And down the right, I have just showing some of the roles that are available in this demonstration system. NetSuite comes pre-packaged with 32 roles, of which during the implementation, you adapt to your own people, to your own processes. Very simple to take a standard dashboard and give people either more access or less access, maybe just view access of certain transactions. To give you an example of what some of the other dashboards might look like, I'm going to go into the sales manager. The idea is trying to put information relevant to a person's everyday job in front of them. Now, some senior people will be able to have unique dashboards where they'll be able to change and customize to their heart's content. Other people, for example, BDMs, may have the same dashboard that is given to them. They can't change it, and it just shows their information. For example, on the left here, we see some alerts. There's some opportunities to close. There's a task to complete. As Steve said, there's a CRM system as well as an accounting, manufacturing, professional services system. There's some invitations to respond to. There's a sales order to approve. This person's a sales manager, so this comes in as an alert here. And I do suggest the alerts do happen on the dashboard. Otherwise, people tend to get hundreds of emails that they need to approve things depending on what the delegated financial authority is. Some return authorizations to approve as well. And you can go down and start seeing how many opportunities and the KPIs, comparing this quarter, last quarter, or this month, last month, how the sales reps are doing. Patricia's obviously tracking Will Clark in the sales by 77%, and various other just analytics. Now, what analytics you determine is required here? Well, in the end, NetSuite's just got all this data, and it's just about visualizing certain pieces of it, summarizing certain pieces of it to make it relevant for your world. So I'm going to show another one now, and I'm going to go into Warehouse Manager. Now, notice across the top, we have leads, opportunities, customers for the sales team. When they head into a Warehouse Manager role, they change to menus that are relevant to that team. Shipping, receiving, inventory information. And you'll notice the dashboard has now, the alerts are orders to receive, orders to fulfill, late purchase orders, orders to pack, orders to ship. And they've got some vendor return authorizations to approve. You know, it's, the approval process all works the same way. It's just different people, different transactions are getting approved. And we can see trends, warehouse operation analytics. And we've got $1.3 million of inventory in there. And we can see what the shipping costs have been over the last 4 months. Now, what I've shown you are 3 dashboards so far, which are very information heavy. A lot of graphs, a lot of information, but not every user needs that information. In fact, sometimes it will scare those people. So what we have are very quiet roles as well. For example, a warehouse operator might have a very blank dashboard, and all they're doing in their alerts is, I've got some orders to fulfill. If you're not using our barcode scanning functionality, a new person, for example, a new operator that needs to pick something will need to come back to the computer to print out a picking list. So what do? They come and click on orders to fulfill, and they get their order. So they don't see all that information. It's very simple. Just click here, just click here, just click here, go to the next order. Oh, it happens to be a transfer order. Doesn't matter. It's just another order to pick, and it's going to be transferred to a new location in Australia. One thing I do want to use as an example here is that this list of orders to fulfill is, of course, user defined. Now, I go into warehouses all the time, and I very frequently see people up in the customer service area running down with bits of paper going, urgent order, this has got to be fulfilled right now, or we've made a big mistake, you've got to fulfill this order. Well, that's just a big waste of time. In fact, they're printing out all these picking slips at the start of the day. What say we print them out? Again, if you're not using barcode scanning guns, print them out on the go. So the idea would be is, well, what's the most important orders to fulfill first? It might be, and I'll use an example. If you're in Auckland, you need to get all the orders for the South Island on a vehicle by 2 p.m. So let's pick them first. So that if an order comes in today for the South Island, it will automatically go to the top. But also there might be certain customers, for example, Progressive Foods, running, you know, the big supermarkets. If an order of theirs comes in, maybe it automatically goes to the top. These are just really simple workflows. Or maybe there's a little checkbox in the sales order because something has gone wrong. So this is an urgent order. That one's the one that goes to the top every time. As far as the lads in the warehouse is concerned, they're going back to their computer each time or looking at their gun for the next order. Oh, there's a new order there. That wasn't there 2 minutes ago, 2 seconds ago. Right, that's the next one because management has decided this is the priority orders. Now, as I go through this, just think of this in every list that you see, it's just a bit of logic to put it in the order that makes it sensible so people aren't running around with bits of paper or manual interventions aren't having to happen. Now I'm going to go back to my financial controller role, and we're going to look around that for a moment. So the first thing I want to talk about are the KPIs here. Now, KPIs, key performance indicators, in an ERP transactional sense, they're nothing more than summarized reports. And summarized reports are nothing more a collection of granular data. So If we can get the granular data into the relationship records, i.e. customer, suppliers, items, and the transactional records, i.e. bills, sales orders, invoices, we can display anything. And we can compare anything as the system evolves over the years, or that data stays there. So if I want to go and have a look at one of these KPIs, anything in blue here, I can drill down onto. When you say drill down, it literally just means I'm going to run the report that this receivables is based on. I've now run the report. These are all the customers for the aging. And I'm going to go into Black Dragon here. And I'm going to carry on drilling down into their transactions. And I'm having a look at some credit memos, there's deposit, there's an invoice here. I'm interested in this one for reasons best known to the financial controller. When I click on this, I am now down to the granular transactional level of that KPI. I followed my nose through the system, but now I want to follow my nose a little bit more. There's something odd about this. So I'm going to have a look. It was a monitor here, the inventory detail. Was it a bad? No, it was good. There was no issues with that going out the door. Let's go look at the monitor. So I can click this and open this into a new tab or into a new window. Here's the inventory item. It's a curved monitor. I can see the image of it there. I can see the vendor's name here. Technical specifications. I've got a hyperlink here. If I click on that, I'm going to go through to the website for this monitor and I can get the technical specifications. I could have also uploaded technical specifications as a PDF into this if I wish. It's an approved item to sell and we offer support on it. So it's stocked in eaches. If I go down here into the item 360, I have a 360 view of this item. I can see how many are on hand. There's 8 on sales order, 18 on purchase order, and I can start seeing the sales and more importantly, what the average cost was and what the average margin is for these items. I can look at the three-way match information. I can look at historical sales for this. And of course, all this can be pulled out into an Excel or a reporting tool if you want. But to be honest, not a lot of people use BI tools in relation to NetSuite because the information is so able to be brought to the screen. So open sales orders here, open purchase orders. And one of the ones I love is how many were sold each month. I can also go through and look at the sales pricing for this. And I can see, as you can see, I can price this in any currency that I like. In the purchase and inventory, I can go down here and see the inventory planning. Are we going to use automated reorder points? We don't tend to use min-max. We get the computer to do reorder points based on preferred stock levels, lead times, and transactional history. And I can start to go down here and see, I've got 3 locations. Here's the stock in each location. Here's the average cost in each location because they will be different depending on transport costs, i.e. the landed cost that go into the average cost will change that, particularly if you're transferring backwards and forwards. And I can see that here there's a reorder point of 5 and a preferred stock level of 8 in each of these. I can also see down here quantity on order and quantity available. So there's some information on the inventory item. Going back to the invoice now. And well, okay, let's go and look at the customer then. Open that into a new tab and I can go see some information on Black Dragon. I can see that they recently purchased Gold Industries. It's still running as a separate entity. I can also see that down in relationships because there's a sub-customer, Gold Industries, so you can start seeing the sales of all the related customers. What else can I see about the customer? There's customer details. The transactions do not need approval. Not a high impact. What does high impact even mean? Well, I can click on this custom field because this is not a standard NetSuite field and see that it has been created to be ticked for any customers with over 500,000 Ks in sales in the past rolling year. That is a custom field with some custom help in behind it. I can go down to the Customer 360 area and start seeing how many orders, fulfillments, invoices, net sales, net returns, all that really good qualitative data and quantitative data that you want to see on your customers. There's the open sales orders, couple pending billing, obviously automated invoicing wasn't turned on, and open invoices and credits. But more importantly, what are the top sold items? And there's a wonderful report that comes out of NetSuite that also shows items that haven't been sold in the last, say, 6 months or 12 months. Let's get the BDMs talking to those people, or let's get the marketing campaign capability in NetSuite doing automatic emails, say, you haven't purchased 6 months, or you've purchased this item, but you haven't purchased this item. We can look at the 12 months worth of sales and see what the returns are looking like. It's a CRM system, so of course we've got communication. It integrates with Gmail, with Outlook, 365, so we can see the messages. And you see a quote was sent. Oh, as a reminder, quote was expiring in 3 days' time. We can see that that there's an account query. We sent them a brochure. There's orders have been sent out to them, i.e. this will automatically, if you integrate, which we can do automatically with a lot of the courier and transport systems, we'll get the tracking number back. We can then automatically send them an email on fulfillment. That's what a lot of this information here, which is all kept under the customer record. I can go to files. I see that we've uploaded a contract for supplier technical equipment with them. Well, that's kept in NetSuite. And I can go to activities. Being a good CRM system, I can see that I'm doing some phone calls, some meetings, some tasks, or that works in the calendar, either in NetSuite or integrates to Outlook. And also I can go to the relationship area, and in the contacts, I can see that Jackson and Pippa are the two people we deal with and all their information. I can go to sales and I can see information on the quotes we've sent, the sales orders. I can also just view this by different ways. At the moment, I'm viewing everything, but maybe I just want to see the return authorizations or the sales orders. So it's just about choosing which information of this vast amount of information that the ERP system keeps you want to visualize. Again, I can see the items that have been purchased and when the last purchase date was. And in opportunities, I can see the potential new sales coming and the sales that we've closed and won. And of course, all the opportunities and quotes head to the pipeline reports and the sales forecasting reports, which you can then start putting into the cash flow. Last thing here I really want to show is NetSuite is also a case management system. So you did offer support on these monitors. Well, instead of using a third-party system, you can log cases within NetSuite in the same way you would do with a Zendesk or anything else, but it's all now kept on the customer record. And that's what we talk about Customer 360. You can see all this information in one place. Of course, if you had a big case management system, you're going to have a case manager role where the support manager will come in and grab these cases that have either been sent at support at your company name or from the customer portal, and all your customers have free access to the customer portal where they can log their own cases, print their own statements, have a look at transactions, reprint invoices, that type of thing. Okay, there's the customer. I'm going back to the invoice, so nothing's really flagged here yet as to why this invoice has piqued my attention. I'm going to now go and back to the sales order. This is the transaction before the invoice, of course, to see what's happened here. And I can see that it's been picked, packed, fulfilled, and invoiced. It seems okay. I'm going to go into related records, and I can see what my problem is here. There's a return authorization on it. So it was fulfilled on the 21st of the 12th. I can go into that transaction. I can see all the details about that. It was invoiced 4 days later. As I said, they obviously didn't have automated invoicing upon shipping turned on. And then 4 days later, that a return authorization was requested, i.e. another transaction with a NetSuite that is been approved by whoever approves these things and it's pending receipt. I've got all that information at my fingertips. No running around looking at files or folders. It's all sitting in the system. When that return authorization comes in, it will likely go to a quarantine area in the warehouse. It will be receipted in, at which it will alert someone to go have a look at it. And if they are happy, it will then, the return authorization will be approved as okay for crediting, and a credit note against that invoice will be raised. I'm now going to go back to my home here, which of course just the icon is sensible. It is your home. And I'm back to where we started. Now, if I want to add more KPIs, NetSuite comes with a couple of hundred standard KPIs. So perhaps I want to see new customers. It doesn't have to be financial, of course. I want to see opportunities won. There's 2 new KPIs I've just created. I also want to add a custom KPI. Now, these are queries that have been saved and can be added to your dashboard. So this one here, invoices greater than 30 days. I'm going to move this up to, so it's moved up to, saved, and I have 3 new KPIs just like that. And if I click on this one, I can see all the invoices that are greater than 30 days, greater than $50,000. That is not a standard report or query, or in our terminology, saved search. It is something that's been created. How was it created? Your NetSuite champion, upon request of the financial controller, who wanted to see be alerted to any of these important invoices that were overdue, has said, right, in this saved search, I want to see type of invoice, how many days overdue, is less than, greater than, between, it's greater than 30, and what is the amount? Well, of course, I can set that amount as well. And what are the results I want to see? Well, that's just a matter of choosing from NetSuite what fields do you want to put in here. Now I've got that saved search appearing on my dashboard. I could also automatically have it emailed out to various interested people, maybe directors, every Monday at 9 o'clock or every Friday at 3 o'clock, whatever you set. It'll just automatically create that report and email it out to the attendee list. What else can we see here? We can go through and change some of the settings. So perhaps I want to see this quarter versus last quarter. And that now runs all these reports from the server farm, so it's very quick to bring back different information. I'm going to put this back now to just the date settings that I have asked for. Now, if I want to personalize my dashboard, very simple to do that. So I want to add another KPI meter or perhaps another graph here. I just close this. Now, this will depend on your role and your permission level. But if I now go and set up this graph, again, NetSuite comes with many, many, many preset graphs, including custom ones. So that custom saved search KPI that I created, I can make a graph of that if I want to. And I'm just going to something here, average days to pay. I want to show that quarterly, and I think I'm going to make that a very bright red. Save that. And now I have this information, which I can now print out as a PNG image or a JPEG image. And I do this as the general manager of Liberate for my board reports every month. I can also move this around. I don't want that sitting there. My KPIs are what I want on my home screen. I want this over here. So I can move this around anywhere that I like. But one thing I will...
Just while you're on there, just had a question come through with the users and the profiles. Can it be locked?
Yes, it can be locked.
Okay.
So certain roles will be able to do what I'm doing. Roles like the BDM roles may be locked, and a new BDM comes along, they will get the same dashboard as all the other BDMs.
Thank you.
Now, one thing I will say is that dashboard, the real estate on your dashboard, your home screen is fairly valuable. And I'm not sure I want monthly average days to pay sitting here. In fact, I might just remove that completely. Where I tend to stick that is one of these other tabs. Every one of these tabs is its own dashboard. So stuff that you don't need to see on a daily basis, you might sit on another dashboard. I want to go look at my vendors information. All this is just standard data. It's all just being summed up. It's all just based on the transactions that are going through the system. And of course, all of this can be customized and moved around to your heart's content. So back to my home page. Now, in my home page here, you'll see I've got some alerts coming down here as well. You know, there's sales orders to approve, return authorizations to approve, journals to approve. Somewhere in the DFA, the financial controller has a role. I've also got some expense reports to approve. Now, this is based on your employees. You're the supervisor of some people. They put an expense report into NetSuite or on the mobile app, which works on either Apple or Android. They're out, they take a photo of the restaurant of the receipt, they put in some information, they log it, it immediately turns up in NetSuite and it turns up on the dashboard of their supervisor waiting to be approved. So Liberate IT for the 12 years has been a remote first company. We've never had an office. So Vicky, Liberate's financial controller, lives on the other side of the city to where I live. I can't physically go and approve bills or see bits of paper for people all around Australia and New Zealand. Every morning, I look at my dashboard, I see the expenses I need to approve, I see the bills I need to approve, which will have the PDF already in the bill transaction, and I go and approve those. Daily basis, and that means that on the 20th or the end of the month, I don't have 30 bills or 60 bills or whatever I need to approve. They're all done. Once I've approved them, of course, it's up to the financial controller to then decide when they're going to pay based on cash flow. So on this particular expense, Abby's been out and about. Looks like she has travelled to Brisbane, had some breakfast with some companies, stayed in a hotel. This one I'm a bit interested in. You'll see that the expense account automatically comes in based on the category. You choose these categories. Automatically logged to a department and a class. I want to go and have a look at this receipt. And there's the receipt there sitting in NetSuite. So that paper receipt can be thrown away now. There's no filing cabinet full of bills or receipts or anything like that. It's sitting in NetSuite. And once if I'm happy with that, I'm just going to approve it. Supervisor approval, and that means it'll go off my dashboard and it goes on to the accountant's dashboard waiting to pay. When they pay it, accounting approval, they also check that everything's okay in an accounting sense, automatically happens. So very much, I really think for example, a straight warehouse distribution company, the only bit of paper that really should be printed out is a packing slip, a delivery note. Everything else should just happen around the ERP system. Last thing I want to show before I go and do a transaction is the global search capability. So for example, we're in just before in Black Dragon. So I can type in black and it's going to come back with some customers, some contacts, some opportunities for Black Dragon. But if I put CU : and prefix it with that, I just get Black Dragon. I now click into Black Dragon and I'm back in that same customer I was 15 minutes ago. I've just gone there a different way. The same way, if I type in item and then monitors, I've got all the inventory items that are monitors. I'm going to click on that one and I'm now back in the same inventory item I was before. I just went a different way. Now I can also type in strings that are in the middle of the, so 4, 8, Q. And now I can just see inventory items for the PG 4382. So it doesn't have to be, we can do wildcard searches, search anything in the middle when you're looking for something. If I want to go see a previous transaction, for example, I was in this invoice here. This is my recent records or my history, which just shows up on the left always. 519. I can invoice 519. And the idea is now I am in that invoice record where I was before. But of course, you don't actually, when someone phones up to talk about an invoice, you already know their name. It's the first thing they say. So why don't we do something like, hello, Pippa, how are you? Ah, there's Pippa Best, Black Dragon, and go into her contact record. Being a CRM system, there's a contact record against the customer record. We can see that she was at FTG Industries. She's married, couple of kids. The other girl was heavily involved in junior sailing. So we're starting to build up information about Pippa. We can talk to her about while we go in to Black Dragon, and maybe we'll run the customer dashboard and see what's been happening there that may be of interest. Why is she calling? But going back home now. So that's what I really want to show on the dashboard, the visualization, the navigation of NetSuite. Where I'm going to head to now is to do a transaction. So I'm going back to my customer Black Dragon, and there's an opportunity set up here. Under sales, under the opportunities tab, we've got opportunities that we've closed in one, and one that's a proposal that was supposed to close. Perhaps I phoned up and said, well, we're ready to order. And you go through this and go, well, just hang on a moment. I can see that these are the items that we've been talking about for the last 4 months or 4 weeks. They're not a quote. They're just a list of items with a 50% probability. So that's going to show up on the forecast. If you go through the sales, you can see qualification questions. And again, these are all user defined by you. What is your qualification requirements? You can see in the estimates that it's omitted. There's been an issue with this quote. If we go and have a look at it and you see it's expired. So you can't just buy this. This is expired. And the person says, well, hang on, you never told me. Well, hang on, let's go and look at the communication record here. I can see that we sent this to you on a certain date, and we sent you a follow-up email to saying it's expiring in 3 days' time. These are emails on the transaction record in the same way as email for the invoice will be on the invoice transaction. A purchase order will be on the purchase order transaction, and any replies will also come back to this transactional record. So if someone's away for a while, they can go in and see all the emails that have gone backwards and forwards between you and your supplier, you and your customer. You can even go and see, look, I followed up on the 2nd to say this quote was expiring. You've got all that information at your fingertips. Anyway, we've got a problem now because the quote's expired, but they're still quite keen to purchase. They've finally got approval. Let's go back to the opportunity here. Is this opportunity still open? Just the quote expired. No one closed the opportunity yet. So we've got 2 things we can do. We can go to the sales, and we can either reopen that quote if you have the permission to do that, of course, or we can just create a new estimate, which may also bring in new pricing information. So from this opportunity, we've gathered all this information. I'm now creating a quote automatically based on the items that were already there. Now, there's the items that we are looking to sell. They've said, oh, actually, I want to buy 5 of those. I'm sorry, not 25. I want to buy 28 of those, so you can change it because it is a quote. The opportunity is simply saying this is the desire, this is the quote now with the offer to sell. And if they're happy with that, we can now save. We can save an email. We can save and print. In fact, I've got a little wee workflow working on this. That as soon as it's saved, it automatically sends a quote to the customer. So now I've got an estimate there. The estimate closes on the 6th of April. So it's automatically set up for 1 month from now. You can set up 1 week. You can do a manual. For this one, look, you've already expired. I'm going to make this close in 2 days' time. You've got to make your decision quick. And if we go to communication now, we can see that an email has gone to Carol, from Carol rather, and there's the quote. This quote is embedded in the email. We can embed them. We can have any custom messages, or we can send an email as a PDF attached. But more importantly, we know on the 8th of March at 7:47 a.m., I don't know where that time comes from, on this demo system, this was sent. We have history of that. So they then come back and say, yep, I'm really keen to buy this. To turn an estimate or a quote into a sales order, and by the way, the word estimate here can be called quote. You can name any of the transactions, anything you want. It's the touch of a button, sales order. If I click on sales order, it's automatically going to create a sales order for this customer. And this is something that I do talk to people about. If they weren't already a customer, but were instead a prospect with an opportunity, a lot of organizations stop the BDM there and say, no, you can't turn it into a sales order because it needs to have credit control. Well, my suggestion is let it be turned into a sales order, but have a little checkbox on the sales order that says awaiting credit control, awaiting credit approval. If that checkbox isn't ticked, it will never turn up on the warehouse items to be fulfilled screen. But what it will do is alert the credit controller to those dashboards to say, I need to go and get credit control for this. Maybe in 4 days' time, if it hasn't been ticked, it will alert the BDM to say nothing's moved on this. So they can then go in. Other than that, they set and forget. They go off selling. They don't have to worry about this ever again as long as the credit controller gets the credit approved. If they don't, they can then get an alert 4 days later to go, okay, I need to go in and do some work. I need to phone the customer and go, we've sent you the applications. We can't ship the goods until you get that information back to us. Front footing something that could cause an issue 2 weeks' time, and it happens a lot when I'm out there in industries where this is just waiting. The email's gone astray for the credit application. The customer, the new customer on their first deal is waiting for these goods to turn up, and it's just forgotten and it's lost, and it causes a lot of kerfuffle. That can all be changed. So NetSuite's also telling some information here that a couple of the items here are not in stock. I click OK to that. It's going to want a PO number here, and I can make this mandatory. And I push save. You see the location is already preset as Melbourne. That's not necessarily how the way it has to be. You can either preset or you can choose. You can even choose location by line item. So if I go down here and look at this transaction now, I can see that for the first two, I've got these items on back order. At the first three, I've got items on back order. But for the bottom ones, I've got them in stock. They're not on back order where I'm circling here. They can be shipped. And the customer has said, ship anything you can straight away. So that's the first thing that's going to happen. Let's go and ship that order. Now, to do that, I need to move into a different role, because you'll notice here, I have no ability as a financial controller to fulfill an order. That's part of the roles and permissions. I could have to tick off a few boxes if I wish to. So I'm going to go up to the administrator role. I'm going to go and find that sales order, which was number 601 in my global search. Remember also in the real world situation, I'll be down in the inventory area and it'll just turn up on my fulfillment list. But I can now fulfill this order. All that information's still there. It's just a different way of looking at the transaction in a much brighter red color. So I'm going to fulfill that. And it's going to allow me to fill 2 items. It's going to let me fill what I can fulfill. I can then put in information on packages. If I don't have a integration to a courier company, I'm going to have to manually put in what the tracking number is. Click OK there and push save. That item is now being fulfilled. I do not have in this demo system pick, pack, and ship turned on, which are 3 different processes. This is obviously for a smaller organization where they just go straight to ship. You can see I can also automatically build this now. But what I normally suggest is that if people get the sales order right and approve the sales order, then the bill should just automatically be generated and sent either at the top of the hour or 9 o'clock at night. Every night, the process runs and automatically creates the bill and emails it to the customer. Right, I'm going to go back to the sales order now. And I can see our status has changed here from pending billing, partially fulfilled. I can go down to related records and I can see that there's 1 transaction has been done. So what else do I need to do here? Well, they've said that this monitor, the 3rd one down, is really important. They would like that sent out immediately. In fact, directly to them. So we're going to drop ship this one. I can do a drop ship, which will deliver it directly to the customer, or I can do a special order, which will bring it into our warehouse and then we'll ship it out. Depending which one you choose, of course, changes what happens with the general ledger transactions into the balance sheet. So 1 item here, whoops, let's do 2. We got to remove that one. Let's pick up that one as well. 1 item, I save that, and that will automatically create the purchase order. And if I go back to the sales order now and go along, I can see that I have a link here to a purchase order. Once I mark that as shipped, it will automatically process that through the system. I can also go to related records and I can see now I have a drop ship here as well. So I'm building up lots of information about this item. If I invoice that item, the original item, it would have also been showing the invoice here, like I showed at the very start. Now, my big problem with these 2 here, I need to get a lot of items in for this. So I can create a purchase order just, it's the reverse of that sales order. I think you all know what a purchase order looks like for these items to bring them in bulk. But if you remember in the item area, I showed the ability to automatically have NetSuite generate a suggested list of items to order. And that's what we're going to do with this. I'm going to go to my shortcuts. I'm going to go to my suggested order report. Oh. Sorry, it's just I have the Zoom thing here. It is there. Sorry. Now this is telling me all the items that NetSuite thinks, based on its analytics, that you should order. I can then move that to various locations. So I only want to see the Melbourne ones here. And now if I come down here and it's telling me that there's 29 back ordered, 32 back ordered, reorder point, preferred stock level, the quantity that I think should be ordered is this number. And I can now go through and choose, yep, that one and that one. I am going to automatically put some orders. In fact, I am going to put more than this. I want to order 50 of these. They're going to do a special deal if they can ship me 50. Sure, I'm going to do that. I want to submit this now. So this is now going to process the orders. This takes a little while because it's processing a lot of information. But imagine if you're doing that over 30 or 50 items, you go away do something else, make a cup of tea, you come back, you refresh this, and automatically you have got 2 or however many purchase orders you've asked for. If I go into these purchase orders, I can see what the item is here. Purchase order has automatically been approved because I've set it up as administrator, it automatically gets approved. If it hadn't, it would have gone out to an alert for someone to approve it, depending on the amount or what the item is. Now, when that turns up, of course, down in the warehouse, it's purchase order 334. What they do is type in PU 234. There it is there, brings it up, and they receive. Now, they have a count and realize they've only sent 30, so only 30 have been received. I can save this. I'm going to get a warning to say there's an inventory detail I need to fill in, because you've set up either serial number for this, maybe a batch number, or in this particular case, what you've set up is you want to know the quality of the stuff coming in. So you have a good look at it and you find that 29 are good quality and 1 is bad quality. And that will go to its own quarantine zone now. Now, you don't have to have that set up, of course. And of course, you can have any parameters that you like for that choice. Good, bad are just particularly simple ones for a demo system. That's got a little green tick now, so I can push save on that. And these items will be receipted in. At some time later on, I can add some landed costs into this. That's completely up to you what those landed costs might look like. And that can happen all the way up to the month end close, and it will catch up the average cost. Now, if I go back to that sales order and refresh it, you'll see here that the back ordered, I can now ship some of these items. I can ship 27. They only sent 30 in, not the 50 I asked for. So I can ship 27. I've still got 3 on back order. And if I now go and hit fulfill, I'll get a fulfillment for 27 items. And I'm still waiting for these items to come in. So that's all I really wanted to show you today as far as a very simplistic transaction flow in NetSuite, but I hope I've shown all the data you can generate and then visualize and how you can do transactions without a lot of paper needed.
We hope this video gave you the information you were after. If you have any further questions, get in touch with us using the links in the description.